I found out my husband was trying to end my life on a Tuesday, not with violence, not with a weapon, with my own heart medication. Every morning for 6 months, I took the pills he handed me with a kiss and a smile. Every morning, I was one step closer to a heart attack that would look like natural causes. And the worst part, he wasn't even doing it for love. Your husband switched out your medication. No, I can't believe this. He was doing it for money. My money. But here's what Michael didn't know. I found out about the switch medication 3 weeks before I confronted him. I found out about his 2 mistresses. I found out about his secret son. I found out about the $200,000 he was stealing. And I found out about his plan to run away to Canada alone. So, I did something he never saw coming. I called his mistresses, not to fight them, not to yell at them, but to tell them 5 words. 5 words that changed everything. Let's destroy him together. I'm Abigail, and this is a story of how I turned my husband's mistresses into my army and watched his entire world burn to the ground. Stay with me to hear how this shocking story unfolded. And make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, so you never miss a story like this. Sit back as we go back to how it all began. Abigail's life looked like something straight out of a magazine. Beautiful home in a nice neighborhood with trees lining the streets. Loving husband who kissed her goodbye every morning. A precious 7-year-old daughter who was her entire world. Sunday mornings smelled like coffee and homemade pancakes. Date nights happened every Friday without fail. Family game nights every Wednesday where they'd laugh until their stomachs hurt. Picture perfect. The kind of marriage that made other women envious. The kind of life that people assumed was blessed. But as Abigail was about to find out, perfect was just another word for fake. And her entire life, it was the biggest lie ever told. The sun was barely up when Abigail stepped outside with her coffee mug. She was still in her robe, hair wrapped in a silk scarf, bare feet touching the cool driveway pavement. That's when she noticed something strange. Michael's car was still in the driveway, her eyebrows pulled together. That didn't make sense. He was supposed to be in Atlanta by now. His flight had been scheduled for last night at 8 o'clock. She walked closer to the car, confused, and there he was, Michael, her husband of 12 years, the father of her child, her best friend, asleep in the driver's seat, head tilted back against the headrest, mouth slightly open. Abigail tapped on the window. Michael's eyes flew open, and for just a split second, barely even a heartbeat, he looked panicked, caught like a child with his hand in the cookie jar. Then he recovered, smiled, that same charming, devastating smile that had made her fall head over heels in love all those years ago. He rolled down the window. "Baby," Abigail said, genuinely confused. "What are you doing out here? I thought you were supposed to be in Atlanta already. Didn't your flight leave last night?" Michael stretched his arms above his head and yawned, rubbed his eyes like he'd just woken up from the best sleep of his life. "Man, you know how these airlines are," he said, shaking his head with just the right amount of frustration. "Whether delayed the flight for 3 hours, then they straight up canceled it. I didn't want to wake you up coming back in the house at midnight, so I just crashed out here for a bit." Abigail's face immediately softened. Her heart melted right there in the driveway. "Ah, baby, I'm so sorry," she said, reaching to the window and touching his cheek tenderly. "You work so hard for this family. I hate that you're dealing with all this airline nonsense." Michael took her hand and kissed her palm. Such a gentle gesture. So loving. "I'm your husband, baby. Taking care of you in joy is what I'm supposed to do. It's not a burden. It's my blessing." He glanced at his watch. "I've got a conference call in a few minutes about rescheduling the whole trip. Can we talk later?" "Of course, baby. Go handle your business." Abigail turned and walked back toward the house, smiling, feeling so incredibly grateful for such a good, hardworking, devoted man. Behind her, the instant she was out of sight, Michael's smile vanished like someone had flipped a switch. His face went cold, hard, annoyed. He grabbed his phone and typed quickly, "Michael, that was way too close. She almost caught us. You need to be more careful with your stuff. T, you need to be more careful. I told you not to keep my things in your car overnight. Michael just lay low today. I'll see you at the session later. He deleted the entire conversation. Every message, every trace. Put the phone in his pocket and walked into his house like absolutely nothing had happened. The smell of turkey bacon and scrambled eggs filled the kitchen. Gospel music played softly from Abigail's phone on the counter. One of those old school songs about faithfulness and answered prayers. Abigail stood at the stove, wooden spoon in hand, humming along. She was happy, genuinely, completely happy. Their daughter Joy came running into the kitchen like a tornado, backpack bouncing on her small shoulders, braids swinging wildly. Mommy, yesterday was so much fun. Abigail turned around, her whole face lighting up. Oh yeah, baby, tell me everything. Daddy took me to the big amusement park, the huge one with all the rides. Joy's eyes were wide with excitement, and we rode the giant roller coaster, and I wasn't even scared, not even a little bit. What? Abigail gasped dramatically, putting her hand over her heart. My baby rode the big kid roller coaster. Look at you being so brave. I'm so proud of you. Joy nodded so hard her braids whipped around. And Mommy, we got funnel cake and cotton candy. And Daddy won me a stuffed unicorn at the water game. Michael walked in the kitchen right then, freshly showered, smelling like expensive cologne and mint body wash. Abigail looked at him with so much love in her eyes. It was almost painful to witness. Thank you for taking her yesterday, babe, she said, her voice soft and grateful. I know you're swamped with work right now. It means everything that you still make time for her. Michael walked over and kissed Abigail on the forehead, long, tender. You know I'd do anything for my girls. You too are my whole world. He paused. His expression shifted, got sympathetic, almost pitying. I just wish you could have been there with us. Baby, I hate that your heart condition keeps you from doing fun stuff like that. It hurts me to see it. And just like that, Abigail's smile dimmed just a little. Just enough to notice if you were paying attention. See, Abigail had been born with a congenital heart defect. Nothing immediately life-threatening, but serious enough that she had to be careful. She couldn't do intense physical activities. No roller coasters, no running, no high-intensity workouts, nothing that would spike her heart rate dangerously high. And she had to take medication every single day without fail. Without that medication, her heart could give out. She could have a heart attack. She could pass away. It's okay, Abigail said quietly, forcing a smile back onto her face. As long as you two had fun, that's what matters most to me. Well, she said, shaking off the momentary sadness, I made your favorite breakfast. Cheese eggs with a good cheddar turkey bacon, extra crispy, and butter grits. Michael's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. Baby, you spoil me. Baby. Michael laughed. You think so? MHM, I can definitely feel it. Silence. Heavy, loaded silence. Then other sounds muffled, but with her ear pressed to the door, she could definitely hear them. Sounds that made Abigail's stomach drop straight through the floor. Sounds that no personal training session should ever include. Abigail's hands balled into fists at her sides. Every single instinct in her body screamed at her to kick that door open right now, to catch them in the act, to scream and throw things and burn the whole house down. But she didn't. Instead, she pulled out her phone with shaking hands, opened the voice memo app, and pressed record. 45 minutes later, the gym door finally opened. Tulip walked out first. Her hair was messier than before. Her face was flush pink, that post-workout glow. Except Abigail knew exactly what kind of workout had caused that glow. Michael followed right behind her, wiping his forehead with a towel, looking entirely too satisfied with himself. That was an excellent session, Coach. I'm really feeling the burn today. I bet you are, Tulip said with a knowing smirk. Abigail appeared from the kitchen. Same sweet smile plastered on her face. All done. Yep, Michael said casually. Coach Tulip really knows how to push me to my limits. She's amazing. I'm sure she is. Tulip grabbed her designer gym bag from where she'd left it by the door. I should get going. I have another client across town in an hour. Wait, Abigail said suddenly. Coach Tulip, it's getting so hot outside already. Why don't you stay for some iced tea before you go? You must be thirsty after all that hard work." Tulip looked caught completely off guard. "Oh, that's really sweet of you, Mrs. Williams, but I really should. I insist." Abigail's smile didn't waver, didn't move. "You just spent all that time and energy working so hard with my husband. The absolute least I can do is offer you something cold to drink before you get back out in that heat." Tulip glanced at Michael. He just shrugged. "It's up to you, Coach." Tulip hesitated, clearly wanting to leave, but not wanting to seem rude or suspicious. She forced another smile. "Sure, thank you. That's very kind." They sat in the living room like civilized women, like friends having a pleasant chat. Abigail poured 2 tall glasses of iced tea with lemon slices and mint leaves, looking like the perfect hostess. Michael excused himself to go shower. Now it was just the two of them. Abigail slid a glass across the coffee table toward Tulip. Tulip took it but didn't drink, just held it, turned it in her hands. "So, Coach Tulip," Abigail began, her tone light and conversational. "You and Michael have been working together for a while now, right? About a month or so. That's nice. Building a good client relationship is so important." Abigail sipped her tea. "You must be around my age, early 30s, 32. Are you married?" Tulip shifted slightly in her seat. "No. Dating anyone? Seriously? Not really." Abigail set down her glass. "So, what do you do besides personal training? Any other jobs or side hustles?" "I've thought about starting something else, but training is pretty exhausting. Doesn't leave much energy for anything else." "You know, I bet." Abigail nodded sympathetically. "Being single with only one source of income must be challenging. Everything is so expensive these days." Tulip's jaw tightened just slightly. "I do fine." "Oh, I'm sure you do." Abigail's smile stayed perfectly in place. "Actually, I couldn't help but notice that bag you came in with. That's a Birkin, isn't it?" Tulip's eyes flickered just for a second. "Yeah, I saved up for it." "That's really impressive. Those bags run about $15,000–$20,000, depending on the style and leather. You must be very good at saving money." "I like nice things." "So do I," Abigail said. "In fact, I have a whole closet full of designer bags and shoes and jewelry. Michael loves spoiling me. Maybe you and I should go shopping together sometime. It's always more fun with a girlfriend." Tulip stood up abruptly, almost knocked over her tea. "You know what? I just remembered I actually have an earlier appointment than I thought. I really need to get going." "Oh, that's too bad. We were having such a nice chat." "Yeah. Thanks for the tea, Mrs. Williams." Abigail walked her to the door, watched Tulip practically run to her car. The moment Tulip's car pulled out of the driveway, Abigail closed the door, locked it, and headed straight upstairs to her bedroom. Abigail stood in her walk-in closet. Rows and rows of handbags lined the custom shelves. Designer shoes in their original boxes. Jewelry organized in velvet-lined cases. Gifts she had gotten for herself and from friends over the years. 12 years of birthdays and anniversaries, and just because surprises from Michael. But looking at them now, they all looked wrong. She pulled down her favorite Chanel bag, the classic black quilted one with the gold chain, opened it, looked at the logo stamped inside. Something fell off. The stitching looked uneven, cheap, not how she remembered it. She pulled down another bag, a Louis Vuitton tote. Same thing. The canvas felt wrong, too stiff. The logo was slightly blurry. Her heart started racing. That dangerous, irregular rhythm. She yanked down bag after bag after bag. Gucci, Prada, Hermes, Fendi, Dior, every single one. Fake. All of them. No, 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 no. Her hands shook as she tore through her shoe boxes. Louboutins. Fake. Valentino's fake. Jimmy Choo's. Fake. She ran to her jewelry armoire with legs that barely worked. Pulled out the diamond bracelet Michael gave her for their 10th anniversary. The one he said cost $8,000. Held it up to the light. The diamonds looked cloudy. Wrong. She grabbed the tennis necklace, the chandelier earrings, the anniversary band. All fake, every single piece. Her breathing came in short, panicked gasps now. Then she remembered something. Her grandmother's ring. The one thing she owned that was worth more than everything else combined. A 2-carat diamond solitaire in a platinum setting, passed down from her grandmother before she passed. Her most precious possession, the only family heirloom she had left. Abigail rushed to her jewelry drawer with hands that wouldn't stop shaking, pulled out the ring box, opened it, and the moment she held that ring, she knew it was too light. The weight was all wrong. She looked closer at the stone. The diamond was fake, cubic zirconia. Her grandmother's real ring was gone. Abigail's legs gave out. She sank to the floor of her closet, surrounded by fake bags and fake jewelry and fake promises. Everything Michael had ever given her. Everything she thought was valuable and precious and real. All lies. He'd been systematically replacing her things. Slowly, quietly, one piece at a time, switching out the real items for convincing fakes, selling the real ones, pocketing the money. And she'd never noticed, never even suspected. Abigail sat there on the plush carpet of her closet floor, and something inside her broke. Not her heart. That would have been easier. Something deeper. Her trust, her faith, her belief in the man she'd married, her belief in love itself. All of it shattered into a million unfixable pieces. She didn't cry, couldn't cry. She just sat there staring at the cubic zirconia ring in her hand that should have been diamonds. And then slowly a sound escaped her throat. A laugh. Quiet first, then louder. A cold, bitter, slightly unhinged laugh that echoed to the empty closet. The laugh of a woman who just realized she'd been played for a fool. The laugh of a woman who had nothing left to lose. "All right, Michael." Abigail whispered to her reflection in the full-length mirror. Her eyes looked different, harder, colder. "You want to play games?" She stood up, brushed off her dress, wiped her eyes even though no tears had fallen. "Let's play." She needed more information. She went to Michael's home office, the one he always kept locked. But Abigail knew where he hid the spare key behind the bookshelf. He thought she didn't know. She'd known for years. The door opened. His desk was neat, organized, everything in its place. She started looking. Drawers, files, papers, bank statements showing transfers she didn't recognize, receipts from restaurants she'd never been to, hotel charges. Then she found a folder labeled Canada. She opened it and her blood went cold. Permanent residency application for Canada, completed, submitted for one person. Michael Williams. No wife, no child, just him. He was planning to leave. Leave the country. Leave her in joy. Start over somewhere new. Probably with one of his mistresses. Abigail's hands shook as she took photos of every page. Then she put everything back exactly as it was. Closed the drawer, locked the office, replaced the key, and went downstairs. Michael was on the couch watching TV. "Hey, babe, feeling okay? You were upstairs for a while." Abigail smiled, just organizing my closet. "You know how I get. That's my girl, always keeping things perfect." He had no idea. No idea she'd found the fakes. No idea she'd seen the Canada papers. No idea his perfect little wife was about to become his worst nightmare. Okay, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Abigail is about to go full boss mode, and you do not want to miss how she takes Michael down. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this revenge is going to be epic. That night, Abigail pretended to sleep. Michael was in the bathroom, door closed, but she could hear him on the phone. "Baby, today was too close." She almost walked in. Tulip's voice muffled but audible. "I told you the house is too risky." "I know, but the car last night was risky, too. We were in our own driveway. That was your idea, and it was so worth it. You know, I can't resist you, especially in that little outfit." They laughed. Intimate. Secret. Abigail's fists clenched. "Don't remind me about the Hotel Tuesday. I'm still sore." "Good. Means I did my job." More laughter. "Just give me a little more time. Once I get what I need from Abigail, we can be together for real. You, me, and Danny. A real family." "You keep saying that." "I mean it. I promise." "Baby, you better gotta go." "She's sleeping." "Love you, baby. Love you, too." Call ended. Water ran. Michael came back to bed, kissed Abigail's forehead. Good night, sweetheart. Abigail kept her eyes closed, breathing steady. Said nothing. The next night, same thing. Abigail in bed. Michael in the bathroom. Phone call. But this time, the voice was different. Not Tulip. Older, more sophisticated. Darling, I've been thinking about your proposal. Abigail's eyes flew open in the darkness. Another woman? Yeah. And what do you think, beautiful? The woman's laugh was warm, confident. I think you're very persuasive. But $200,000 is a significant investment. $200,000, I know it's a lot, Veronica, but this business opportunity is solid. I just need the capital to get started. Veronica. So now she had a name. And you're sure about the returns you promised? Baby, I wouldn't ask if I wasn't 100% sure. This is going to change our lives. Our lives, of course. You and me. Once this takes off, we can finally be together properly. No more sneaking around. What about your wife? I told you that's basically over. We're just staying together for our daughter. But once I get this business up and running, I'm filing for divorce. Lies. All lies. All right, darling. I'll have my lawyer draw up the paperwork. You'll have your money by next week. You're amazing. You know that? I love you so much. I love you, too. Call ended. Michael came back to bed, kissed Abigail. Good night, baby. Abigail's mind was racing. Two mistresses, Tulip and now Veronica. He was getting money from Veronica while having a child with Tulip, while stealing from Abigail, while planning to run to Canada alone. She waited until Michael's breathing got heavy, deep asleep. Then she carefully reached for his phone on the nightstand. His passcode, Joy's birthday. Never changed it. Unlocked. Scroll through recent calls. Found it. Veronica Chun. Abigail took out her own phone. Saved the number. Put Michael's phone back exactly where it was, lay back down, and smiled in the darkness. Now she had them both. Tulip and Veronica. The two women Michael was playing. The two women who had no idea about each other. The two women Abigail was about to unite. But first, there was one more thing she needed to check. The next morning, after Michael left for work and Joy was at school, Abigail went to her bathroom cabinet where she kept her heart medication. The bottle Michael had picked up from the pharmacy just last week. She opened it, looked at the pills inside. Just as she suspected, they looked different somehow. The color was slightly off. Her palpitations had been steadily getting worse. Even though she never missed taking her medication, something was wrong with what she was finding out about Michael. She wouldn't put it past him to do what she was suspecting right now. Her hands trembling, she grabbed her purse and drove straight to the hospital. Abigail sat in her cardiologist's office, the bottle of pills on the desk between them. Dr. Harrison picked up the bottle, examined it, then looked at Abigail with concern. Mrs. Gecko Williams, where did you get this medication? My husband picked it up from the pharmacy last week. Why? Is something wrong? Dr. Harrison's expression darkened. These aren't your heart pills, Mrs. Williams. These are blood pressure medication. Very strong blood pressure medication. The room started spinning. What? If you've been taking these instead of your actual heart medication, you're in serious danger. For someone with your condition, this could cause a heart attack. Abigail finished, her voice barely a whisper. Yes, a fatal one. Abigail sat there frozen. Michael wasn't just cheating on her, wasn't just stealing from her. He was trying to end her life. I need you to run some tests, Abigail said, her voice eerily calm. I need documentation of everything, and I need you to give me the real medication. Dr. Fuck. Harrison nodded slowly. Mrs. Williams, if someone deliberately switched your medication, that's attempted harm. You need to call the police. That I will, Abigail said. But first, I need to make sure he can't talk his way out of it. I need evidence. Undeniable evidence. She left the hospital 3 hours later with a full medical report documenting the switch medication and its potentially fatal effects and a plan. A plan to destroy Michael Williams so completely he'd wish he had actually passed away. That evening, Abigail made 2 phone calls. The first was to an unknown number. Hello, is this Veronica Chun? Pause. Who's calling? My name is Abigail Williams. I believe you know my husband, Michael. Long silence. I'm not sure what you're pleased. Don't insult my intelligence. Miss Chun, I know everything and I think we need to talk. I don't think that he has another mistress. A 28-year-old named Tulip. They have a 4-year-old son together. Did he mention that when he was asking you for $200,000? Dead silence. He's also planning to flee to Canada alone. No wife, no mistresses, just him and the money he's been stealing from all of us. Veronica's breathing changed. When did you want to meet? Tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Rosie's Cafe on 5th Street. I'll be there. Abigail hung up, smiled. Phase 1 complete. The second call was a text message. Abigail Tulip. This is Abigail Williams, Michael's wife. We need to talk. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., Rosie's Cafe on 5th Street. If you don't show, I'm sending the voice recordings from your training session to everyone in your contact list and to Danny's school. The response came 30 seconds later. Tulip, how did you get my number? Abigail, I have my ways. Will you be there? Tulip, fine, I'll be there. Abigail put down her phone. Tomorrow, Michael's whole world would start crashing down, and she couldn't wait. Rosa's Cafe, corner table, 1:45 p.m. Abigail sat there, calm, collected. But inside, her heart was pounding. Today was the day. The day she'd bring Michael's whole world crashing down. At 1:55, the cafe door opened. Tulip walked in. Sunglasses, baseball cap, trying to hide. She spotted Abigail and walked over like she was heading to her execution. Sat down without a word. They stared at each other. You asked for us to meet, Tulip said, voice tight. So get straight to the point. Why am I here? Abigail leaned back. I know you're sleeping with my husband. Tulip had just picked up her water glass. She choked. Water everywhere. Coughing violently. Eyes watering. Other customers stared. Abigail just watched, then smiled. Other customers stared. Abigail just watched, then smiled. Don't worry. I'm not here to cause a scene. Tulip set down the glass with shaking hands. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. Abigail pulled out her phone. Should I play the recording from your last training session? The one where you and my husband were definitely not exercising? Tulip's face went pale. Or maybe the screenshots from your Instagram. The ones with Michael's watch in the background. Or that bracelet you're wearing right now that used to be mine. Tulip looked down at her wrist, eyes wide. How? Her voice cracked. How are you so calm? What kind of woman are you? The kind who doesn't waste time crying. Tulip looked up, scared, confused. Then what do you want? Why did you bring me here? Abigail leaned forward. I want to destroy him, and I need your help. Tulip laughed, bitter. You want my help to destroy the man I love? Love? Abigail's eyebrow raised. You think he loves you back? Yes, he does love me. Really? Then why is he scamming another woman for $200,000 right now? Tulip froze. What? Another woman? Another woman? Her name is Veronica. He's been with her for 2 years. Told her he's divorced. Told her they're going to be together once his business takes off. You're lying. Am I? Abigail checked her watch. Actually, she should be here any minute. What? I invited her. Thought you two should meet. Tulip stood up fast, chair scraped. I'm not doing this. I'm leaving. Sit down, Tulip. No, this is crazy. You're crazy. Sit down. Something in Abigail's voice made Tulip freeze. If you walk out that door, I will destroy your entire life, your business, your reputation, your clients, everything. But if you sit down and listen, you might actually come out of this with something. Tulip stood there, torn, then slowly sat back down. Good. The cafe door opened again. A woman walked in, older, maybe early 40s, designer suit, perfect hair, expensive jewelry, confident, powerful, rich. She spotted Abigail and walked over. Tulip watched with wide eyes. The woman sat down at their table, looked at Tulip, then at Abigail. Mrs. Beatty Williams, I assume. Miss Chun, thank you for coming, and please call me Abigail. Veronica nodded, then looked at Tulip. And who is this? This is Tulip, Michael's other girlfriend. Veronica's face didn't move, but her eyes went ice cold. Tulip's mouth fell open. Wait, you're Veronica? That's me. But you're old. Veronica's smile was sharp. I'm 42, and apparently I'm not the only woman Michael has been lying to. Tulip looked between them, panicking. This doesn't make sense. Michael loves me. We have a son together. He said he's going to divorce her and marry me. Veronica's eyebrow raised. You have a child with him. Yes, Danny. He's 4 years old. Michael is his father. Veronica turned to Abigail. Did you know about the child? I just found out last week. Veronica looked back at Tulip, and Michael sees him. Every week, sometimes more, Danny calls him Daddy. Fresh tears. What am I supposed to tell my son? That his daddy doesn't want us anymore. Veronica spoke first. I don't have children. I'm divorced. My ex-husband left me for a younger woman 5 years ago. She looked at her hands. When I met Michael 2 years ago, I thought I'd found someone real. Someone who saw me for more than my money. He was charming, attentive, made me feel young again. Her laugh was bitter. I should have known better. A handsome man in his 30s interested in a 42-year-old woman. Red flags everywhere. But I was lonely, and he was good at making me feel special. She looked at Abigail. I almost gave him $200,000. I was signing the papers tomorrow. I know, Abigail said. That's why I called you today. Why? Veronica's eyes narrowed. Why would you help me? I've been sleeping with your husband. Because he played you too. And because Abigail took a breath. Because destroying him alone won't work. He's too smart. Too manipulative. He'll talk his way out of it. Charm his way back in. She looked at both of them. But if we work together, if all three of us unite, he won't see it coming, and he won't be able to stop it. Tulip wiped her eyes. What do you want us to do? First, I need you to tell me everything. Every lie he told you, every promise, every secret, everything. Tulip was quiet for a moment. Then she started talking. He told me he married you for your father's money, that your dad set him up in business but controlled everything, that he felt trapped. Abigail's jaw clenched. My father hated Michael, told me not to marry him. We stopped speaking because of it. He said you couldn't have more kids, that you had complications with Joy, and the doctor said you couldn't get pregnant again. That's a lie. I have a heart condition, but I can have children. We just decided one was enough. He said. Tulip's voice dropped. He said you didn't sleep with him anymore, that you become cold, that the marriage was over, but you wouldn't agree to divorce. Abigail's face stayed calm, but inside she was burning. Veronica spoke next. He told me he was divorced, that his ex-wife lived in another state with their daughter, that he barely saw them. We live in the same house, sleep in the same bed. He said he was starting a tech company, that he just needed capital to get it off the ground. Promised me I'd triple my investment in 6 months. There is no company, Abigail said, just lies and theft. They sat there, 3 women, all betrayed by the same man, all used, all lied to, all manipulated. So what now? Tulip asked quietly, what's your plan? Abigail smiled, and it was the coldest smile either of them had ever seen. Now we take everything from him. His money, his reputation, his freedom. How? He stole from me. That's theft. He defrauded you, Veronica. That's fraud. And Tulip, he's about to abandon you and his son. That's child abandonment. She leaned forward. Separately, we're victims. Together, we're witnesses. Evidence. A case. Veronica's eyes lit up. You want to press charges. I want to bury him. I'm in, Veronica said immediately. They both looked at Tulip. She sat there torn, broken. I loved him, she whispered. I really loved him. I know, Abigail said gently. But he didn't love you back, and you deserve better. Danny deserves better. Yes, he does. Tulip wiped her face, sat up straighter. Okay, I'm in. What do you need me to do? Abigail pulled out a notebook. Tell me everything. Dates, amounts, conversations. I want documentation of every single thing he did. For the next 2 hours, they talked. Tulip revealed that Michael had taken money from her, too. Small amounts over the years. Loans that were never paid back totaling almost $30,000. Veronica showed bank transfers, gifts she'd bought him, trips she'd paid for, over $100,000 in 2 years. Abigail had her own records, the stolen jewelry, the drained accounts, the forged signatures on mortgage documents. By the time they were done, they had everything. A complete timeline of Michael's lies, thefts, and fraud. "This is enough," Veronica said. She was a lawyer in her past life before real estate. "This is more than enough to destroy him." "Good," Abigail said, "because tomorrow we make our move." "What happens tomorrow?" Tulip asked. Abigail's smile was dangerous. "Tomorrow, Michael gets a surprise visit from all three of us at the same time." Tulip's eyes went wide. "You want to confront him together?" "I want to watch him try to lie his way out of this." Veronica laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world." They left the cafe together. 3 women who walked in as enemies. 3 women who walked out as allies, as warriors. And Michael Williams had absolutely no idea what was coming for him. That night, Abigail cooked dinner like always, set the table like always, smiled at Michael like always. "How was your day, baby?" she asked. Michael kissed her cheek. Exhausting, but good. Really good. Actually, I think that business deal I've been working on is about to close." "That's wonderful, baby." "Liar," she thought. "You have no business deal, just schemes and frauds." "How about you? What did you do today?" "Oh, just errands. Boring stuff." "I recruited your mistresses to destroy you," she thought gleefully. "Well, you look beautiful as always. You won't think so tomorrow." She crooned it in her head, silently laughing at him. They ate dinner, watched TV, went to bed. Michael fell asleep with his arm around her like a loving husband, like he hadn't been planning to abandon her and run to another country. Abigail lay there in the darkness, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow was going to change everything. Tomorrow, Michael's lies would catch up to him. Tomorrow, he'd realize he'd messed with the wrong women, and Abigail couldn't wait. If you want to see the look on Michael's face when all 3 women confront him at once, you better hit that like button and drop a comment telling me what you would say to Michael if you were in that room. Let's go. So, now you know Abigail didn't just discover Michael's betrayal. She weaponized it. She turned his victims into his downfall. She built an army from the ashes of his lies. And tomorrow, that army is marching to war. Michael Williams woke up that Thursday morning with a smile on his face. Why wouldn't he smile? Life was perfect. Beautiful wife at home cooking his breakfast. Young, attractive girlfriend waiting for his call for some pleasurable offloading. Wealthy older woman about to hand him $200,000. Plus, his Canada plans were almost finalized. 6 more weeks and he'd disappear. New country, new identity, new life with enough money to live like a king. He had it all figured out, or so he thought. Michael came downstairs whistling. Abigail was in the kitchen scrambling eggs, smiling. "Morning, beautiful. Morning, baby." She kissed his cheek. "Sleep well, like a rock." "You, best sleep I've had in years." She wasn't lying. For the first time in a week, Abigail had slept peacefully because she knew what was coming and she was ready. "Hey, babe," Michael said, pouring coffee. "I got meetings all day. Might be home late." "Actually, I was hoping you could come home early today, around 2 o'clock. Michael's forehead wrinkled. 2? That's the middle of the day. "Why?" "I want to talk about something important. About our future." Michael's face changed. Got careful. "Our future. MHM, I've been thinking about us, about our marriage, about where we're headed." Michael's mind was racing. Did she know? Was she suspicious? No. Impossible. She'd been acting completely normal. "Okay," he said slowly. "I can probably move some things around. Be home by 2. Perfect." Abigail smiled. "It'll be worth it. I promise." "Oh, it will be," she thought. "Just not the way you think." Michael left for work at 8. The second his car pulled out of the driveway, Abigail grabbed her phone. Group texted Tulip and Veronica. "Abigail, he'll be home at 2 p.m. Be here at 2:15. Park down the street. Come to the back door. And ladies, get ready for a show. Veronica typed, I'll bring popcorn. Metaphorically speaking. Tulip types, I'm so nervous I might throw up. Abigail typed, don't be nervous. Be angry. He deserves what's coming. Tulip types, you're right. See you at 2:15. Abigail spent the morning preparing. She printed out everything. Bank statements, screenshots, Michael's canned application, the fake jewelry receipts, all of it. Created 3 folders, one for each of them. Evidence, organized, undeniable. Then she set up her phone to record. Hidden on the bookshelf, perfect angle of the living room. Everything would be documented. Every lie, every excuse, every moment of his downfall. At 1:45, she changed clothes, put on her best dress, the red one Michael loved, did her makeup, hair perfect. If she was going to destroy her husband, she was going to look good doing it. At exactly 2 p.m., Michael's car pulled into the driveway. Abigail took a deep breath, smiled, and opened the door. Michael walked in looking confused. Hey, babe, I'm home. What's this important thing you wanted to talk about? Come sit down, baby. Can I get you something to drink? Sure. Water's fine. They sat in the living room, Michael on the couch, Abigail in the chair across from him. He looked nervous, fidgety. So he said, forcing a smile, what's going on? You're making me anxious here. Am I? Abigail tilted her head. Why would you be anxious, Michael? I'm not. You said it was important. It is very important. Life-changing, actually. The doorbell rang. Michael jumped. Who's that? Oh, probably just a delivery. I'll get it. Abigail walked to the door, opened it. Veronica stood there. Designer suit, expensive heels, looking like she owned the world. Michael's face went white. Veronica, what are you? Hello, Michael. Veronica walked in like she'd been invited. Hope I'm not interrupting. No, you're right on time. Abigail said sweetly. Michael stood up fast. Abigail, what is this? Why is she here? Sit down, Michael. I don't understand. Sit down. The command in Abigail's voice made him freeze. He sat slowly. The back door opened. Footsteps in the kitchen. Michael's head whipped around. Tulip walked into the living room. Tight jeans, tank top, her hair down, no makeup. She looked like she'd been crying. Michael's face went from white to gray. Tulip, oh my God, what surprise. Tulip said quietly. Michael looked between all 3 women. His brain was short-circuiting, trying to find the lie, the story, the excuse. I can explain, he said quickly. This isn't what it looks like. Really? Abigail sat down, crossed her legs. What does it look like, Michael? I don't know what these women told you. But these women. Veronica's voice was ice. Veronica, please just let me let you what? Veronica stepped closer. Let you lie some more. Let you manipulate your way out of this. I'm not manipulating anyone. Tulip laughed. Sharp. Painful. You've been lying to all of us. Michael, for years. That's not true. Tulip. Baby, you know I love you. Don't call me baby. Tulip's voice cracked. Don't you dare. Michael turned to Abigail. Desperate now. Abigail, sweetheart, I don't know what's happening here, but you have to believe me. These women are what? Abigail's voice was calm. Too calm. Your mistresses, your victims, your marks. Michael's mouth opened, closed. No words came out. Let me tell you what I know, Abigail said. She pulled out the first folder. You've been having an affair with Tulip for 8 years. You have a 4-year-old son with her name Danny. Abigail, I'm not finished. She pulled out a photo. You've been having an affair with Veronica for 2 years. Told her you were divorced. That's a misunderstanding. I'm still not finished. Another document. You stole from our joint bank account. $260,000. Gone. Michael's jaw clenched. You replaced all my jewelry with fakes. Sold the real pieces. Gave some to Tulip as gifts. Tulip flinched. You mortgaged our properties without my knowledge. Forged my signature. I didn't forge. Yes, you did. Abigail threw the mortgage documents at him. I had them analyzed. That's not my signature. Michael stared at the papers. And the best part, Abigail's smile was vicious. You applied for permanent residency in Canada for one person. planning to take Veronica's $200,000 and disappear. She threw the Canada application at him. It hit his chest and fell to his lap. Michael looked at it, and all the color drained from his face, because he knew he was caught. So, here's what's going to happen. Abigail said, "You're going to sit there and listen, and if you interrupt even once, I'm calling the police right now." Michael's mouth snapped shut. "Veronica, tell him." Veronica stepped forward. "I've already contacted my lawyers. The money you asked me for, I was going to give it to you, but instead, I've frozen all my accounts. Contacted every business associate you've ever had through me. Told them exactly what kind of man you are." Michael's eyes went wide. "Your business reputation gone. No one in this city will work with you. I've made sure of that. You can't. I can and I did." Tulip stepped forward next. "I contacted a lawyer, too. I'm filing for child support for Danny. You owe me 8 years of support." "Tulip, please." 8 years, Michael. The calculator says that's about $96,000 plus interest. Michael actually gasped. "And I'm taking you to court for fraud. All those loans you took from me. I have records, text messages, bank transfers, all of it." Abigail stood up. "And me? I'm filing for divorce. And because you forged my signature, took from our accounts, and committed fraud, I get everything, the house, the car, full custody of Joy, and you'll be paying me child support and alimony." She leaned down, got close to his face. "You're going to lose everything, Michael. Your money, your reputation, your freedom. You can't prove any of this. We have recordings." Abigail held up her phone. "Of you and Tulip in our home gym, of your phone calls with Veronica, of you admitting to fraud." Michael's face went from gray to green. "We have witnesses each other. 3 women all saying the same thing. We have documents," Veronica added. "Bank records, signatures, applications, all authenticated. And we have a lawyer," Tulip finished. "A really good one who's taking our case pro bono because he hates men like you." Michael sat there, surrounded by the 3 women he'd betrayed. Trapped, cornered, finished. "So, what do you have to say, Michael?" Abigail asked. "Any more lies? Any more excuses?" Michael's face changed. The charm dropped. "You bitches," he hissed. "You think you're so smart? You think you won?" "We have won," Veronica said. "I gave you everything." He pointed at Abigail. "A home, a life, stability, and you were boring, cold. You stopped trying. I stopped trying." Abigail's voice was dangerous. "I cooked for you every day, cleaned, raised your daughter, supported your fake business. What more did you want? I wanted a woman, not a maid." Tulip stepped forward. "And what about me? What was I to you?" Michael looked at her and laughed. Actually laughed. You were easy, young, hot, good for my ego." Tulip's face crumpled. "Did you really think I was going to marry you? A personal trainer with no education? Please, I have your son. Yeah, and that was a mistake. I told you to handle it, but you got all emotional and kept it." The room went silent. Even Abigail looked shocked. "You wanted me to abort Danny?" Tulip whispered. "Of course I did. Why would I want another kid?" Tears streamed down Tulip's face. "You're a monster. You're the one who said you were tired of using protection. I'm a businessman, and you were a liability. That I stopped using protection didn't mean you should stop using your sense." He turned to Veronica. "And you? You were just a bank account with legs. You think I enjoyed sleeping with you? You're twice my age." Veronica didn't flinch. "At least I have self-respect, which is more than I can say for you." "Oh, please. You were desperate, lonely, pathetic, throwing money at me because no real man wanted you." "You're right," Veronica said calmly. "I was desperate, but now I'm just angry and rich and connected and about to ruin your entire life." Michael stood up. "You can't do anything to me. I'll fight this." The front door opened. 2 police officers walked in. Michael's face went pale. "Michael Williams," one officer said. "I what?" "You're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and theft." "What?" "No, this is insane." The officer pulled out handcuffs. "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you." Abigail, please don't do this." Abigail watched them cuff him, face blank. Abigail, I'm sorry. Please, I'll fix this. Al, you should have thought about that before you tampered with my medication. Michael froze. What? My heart medication. You switched it. I have the pills. Had them tested. You were slowly harming me, Michael, creating a situation that would have looked like natural causes. His face went white. I never save it for the judge. The officers let him out. He was screaming, struggling. This isn't over. You hear me? This isn't over. The door slammed shut. Silence. The three women stood there. Then Tulip started crying, full and sobbing. Abigail walked over and hugged her. It's okay. It's over now. I wasted 8 years on him. 8 years. I know, but you're free now. You and Danny. Veronica poured herself a glass of water from the kitchen. I can't believe I almost gave him $200,000. But you didn't, Abigail said. Because we stopped him. Veronica looked at her. Thank you for calling me. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. We're all victims here. Veronica corrected. We were victims. Now we're survivors. Tulip wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now, Abigail smiled. Now we rebuild. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. Abigail got the house, the car, full custody, and significant alimony. She also got her father's inheritance, all $1.22 million that Michael had been eyeing for years. She used part of it to start a foundation for women escaping harmful relationships, the Abigail Williams Foundation, helping women rebuild their lives. Tulip got full custody of Danny, and Michael was ordered to pay child support, 8 years of back pay plus ongoing support. She also got a settlement, $50,000 for fraud. She used it to go back to school, got her certification in physical therapy, opened her own practice. Business was booming. Veronica, she wrote a book, Scammed, How I Almost Lost Everything to Con Artists. It became a bestseller. She went on talk shows, did interviews, became an advocate for women's financial literacy. And Michael, well, that's where things got interesting. Michael spent 2 weeks in jail before making bail, but the damage was done. His business collapsed. No one would work with him. His reputation was completely gone. Every news outlet ran the story. Local businessman arrested for fraud. His face was everywhere. He couldn't get a job, couldn't get loans, couldn't get anything. The debts piled up. Legal fees, alimony, child support, restitution. He owed over $400,000 and he had no way to pay it. His lawyer called him one Tuesday afternoon. Michael, if you don't come up with at least $100,000 in the next 30 days, you're going to prison. Real prison. 5 to 10 years. Michael sat in his studio apartment. The only place he could afford now. Roaches on the counter, mold in the bathroom, mattress on the floor. How had it come to this? He'd been so careful, so smart. But those women, they completely dismantled everything he built. He needed money fast. He scrolled through his contacts. Everyone he knew had turned their backs on him. Everyone except he stared at the name. Gladys Morrison, 58 years old, wealthy, very wealthy. She'd contacted him 6 months ago about personal business. He'd turned her down because Gladys was not attractive. She was overweight, bad skin, thinning hair. Michael had standards, past tense. Because desperate times call for desperate measures, he called her. Hello. Hi, Gladys. It's Michael Williams. We met a while back. Michael, of course. I remember you. How are you? Her voice was eager. Too eager. I might have been better, honestly. Listen, I know this is awkward, but I was wondering if we could meet for coffee. Coffee with me? Really? Yeah, I'd love to catch up. Oh, Michael, I'd love that. When? How about tomorrow? Perfect. I'll text you the address. She sounded so happy. It made Michael's stomach turn, but he had no choice. They met at an upscale cafe. Gladys was waiting when he arrived. She dressed up, done her makeup, curled her hair. She looked the same, just with more effort. Michael, you look wonderful. He definitely did not look wonderful. He'd lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes, wore clothes from Goodwill. but he forced a smile. Thanks, Gladys. You look great, too. They sat down, ordered coffee, made small talk. Then Gladys leaned forward. Michael, I saw the news about your troubles. Michael's face burned with shame. Yeah, it's been rough. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Thanks. Is there anything I can do to help? This was it. His opening. Michael took a breath. Actually, Gladys, I hate to ask, but I'm in a really bad situation financially. If I don't come up with $100,000 in the next month, I'm going to prison. Gladys's eyes widened. Oh my God, that's terrible. I know. I've asked everyone I know. No one will help me. And I thought, maybe since you've been so kind. He let it hang there. Gladys studied him. And for just a moment, Michael saw something in her eyes. Something calculating. $100,000 is a lot of money, Michael. I know. I'm sorry. I should have asked, but I could help you. Michael's head snapped up. Really? On one condition. Anything. Name it. Gladys smiled, and it was not a kind smile. You become mine. I what? You heard me. I'll give you the 100,000. But in exchange, you belong to me. Michael's throat went dry. What does that mean exactly? It means you're my boyfriend, Michael. My arm candy, my companion. Whatever I want, whenever I want it. For how long? Until I say we're done. Michael felt sick, but the alternative was prison. 5 to 10 years. He couldn't survive that. Okay, he whispered. Okay, I'll do it. Gladys's smile widened. Wonderful. We start tonight. I have a charity gala. You're my date. Wear something nice. I'll send a car for you at 6. She stood up, dropped $200 bills on the table for coffee. See you tonight, baby. She walked away after giving him a slobbery kiss, leaving Michael sitting there wiping his mouth in disgust, realizing he'd just sold his soul. That night, Michael stood next to Gladys at the gala. She wore a too-tight dress that showed every roll and bulge. Her makeup was heavy, her perfume overwhelming, and she kept touching him. His arm, his back, his chest, claiming him in front of everyone. Everyone. This is my boyfriend, Michael. People stared. Some looked confused. Some looked pitiful. Some looked amused because they knew. They all knew. Michael Williams, the former hotshot businessman, had been reduced to being a plaything for a rich woman he wasn't even attracted to. And he had to smile through it. Had to hold her hand. Had to kiss her cheek when she asked. Had to pretend he wanted to be there. This was his life now. This was what he'd become. And the worst part, he saw Abigail across the room. She was there with Veronica. Both of them looked amazing, confident, happy, free. Abigail caught his eye and smiled. Not a kind smile, a knowing smile. A smile that said, you did this to yourself. Michael looked away, shame burning through him. Gladys squeezed his hand. Come on, baby. Let's dance. And Michael Williams, the man who thought he was smarter than everyone, spent the rest of the night dancing with a woman he didn't love, didn't want, and couldn't escape because he'd burned every bridge, betrayed every person who cared about him. And now he was paying the price. Not with money, not with time, but with his dignity. And honestly, that was the most fitting punishment of all. 6 months later, Abigail stood in her new office. The Abigail Williams Foundation had helped over 200 women in 6 months. Women escaping harmful situations. Women rebuilding their lives. Women finding their strength. Joy was thriving, happy, adjusted. And Abigail, she'd never felt more alive. She'd started dating again. Nothing serious. Just rediscovering who she was outside of being Michael's wife. She'd reconnected with old friends, taken up painting, traveled, lived. Tulip came by that afternoon with Danny. Annie Abigail. Danny ran up and hugged her. Abigail laughed. Hey, buddy, you're getting so big. Mommy says I'm gonna be tall like Daddy. Tulip's face tightened slightly, but she smiled. That's right, baby. Now, go play with Joy in the playroom. The kids ran off. How are you? Abigail asked. Good. Really good. Actually, my practice is doing amazing. I hired 2 more therapists last month. That's wonderful. And I'm dating someone. Really? Tulip blushed. His name is Marcus. He's a teacher. He's sweet and patient, and he loves Danny. I'm so happy for you. Me too. For the first time in years, I feel like I can breathe. Veronica arrived an hour later. Ladies, I have news. What news? Abigail asked. My book is being made into a limited series. Netflix picked it up. What? Tulip screamed. I know. They hugged and jumped and celebrated. 3 women who'd been torn apart by one man's lies. 3 women who'd come together and built something beautiful. Have you seen him lately? Tulip asked quietly. They all knew who she meant. I saw him last week, Veronica said, at a restaurant with Gladys. How did he look? Miserable. She was ordering for him, telling him what to eat, what to wear, treating him like a pet. Abigail should have felt bad, should have felt something, but she didn't. He made his choice, she said simply. He made a lot of choices. Tulip corrected. Bad ones. And now he's living with the consequences. They were quiet for a moment. Then Veronica raised her glass of wine. 2 consequences. Abigail raised hers to freedom. Tulip raised hers last and never settling for less than we deserve. They clinked glasses and smiled because they'd won, not by destroying Michael, but by rebuilding themselves, by choosing themselves, by becoming stronger. And that was the sweetest revenge of all. So, what did we learn from Abigail's story? First, your gut is always right. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore those red flags. Second, women supporting women is powerful. Abigail could have blamed Tulip and Veronica, could have hated them, but instead she saw them as allies, and together they were unstoppable. Third, the best revenge is living well. Yes, Michael got what he deserved, but the real victory was Abigail rebuilding her life, finding joy, helping others, thriving, and finally, never underestimate a woman who's been pushed too far. Michael thought Abigail was weak, naive, easy to control. He was wrong. The quietest women often have the loudest roar. So, if you're going through something similar, remember Abigail's story. You are not stuck. You are not helpless. You are stronger than you know. And sometimes the worst thing that happens to you becomes the best thing that ever happened because it forces you to wake up, stand up, and take your life back. What did you think of this story? Do you think Michael got what he deserved? What would you have done in Abigail's situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story inspired you, taught you something, or just entertained you, please smash that like button and subscribe for more dramatic stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's going through a tough time. Someone who needs to be reminded of their strength.